Summoner name is Keen. I'm a junior at UTD.
My summoner name is Bucksack.
My summoner name is CC Dean.
My name is Faith.
I'm Evan Lawson, or Evan RL in game. I play AD carry for Columbia College.
Before I was at the University of Texas, I was in the Navy as a machinist mate.
My summoner name is Misty Stumpy.
My summoner name is Johns.
My name is Hollywood.
My name is William Lin. My summoner name is Lil Win, which is a pun on my name.
My name's Julian. I'm a third-year student at Columbia College, and I'm majoring in business.
My name is XCase. I play mid for UT Dallas.
I've been playing League for, since season 1. The most satisfying feeling when playing League is seeing a huge creep wave and you're playing like Sivir. You just ricochet the whole wave, get 300 gold, and keep on pushing.
Being able to pull off a great play with like Flash or any other summoner spell.
Getting that wombo combo on any of those champions, like that 5-man Malphite ult.
Getting 25 stacks on Medjai's and not dying, going like 1-0-18.
The most satisfying feeling for me is winning
I think it's just winning, just in general.
because I have that competitive drive to go for every game.
I just want to win.
When that game is on a precipice and one decision will impact the game, whether this is like a Baron bait or getting a pick.
To secure or to steal Baron.
30, 40-minute game, one death decides the game, and when you get that kill or when you make that right call, when you get that Baron,
It's like hitting a buzzer beater.
that adrenaline is there. And that's probably the best feeling in League of Legends.
Some great feeling moments. What do you got, Zyrene? What's your favorite moment?
My favorite moment is when somebody on my team or the enemy team talks shit about me, and then I beat them or I carry them over the finish line.
There you go. For me, it's when somebody takes the lantern. Great. Ooh. Welcome back for Game 2 of UT Dallas versus Columbia College. It is going to be Columbia College on the blue side to start things off. And a few names we've got to talk about out of that Game 1. Stumpy and Julian. And we will start with Stumpy and his Yasuo.
Yeah, the Yasuo. I was not expecting that one to come out. And the fact that he was playing it pretty much effortlessly. It looked so fluid. It actually blew my mind. He was up in levels. He was up in pressure. He knew how and when to TP appropriately. And then we saw he was actually one of the big factors that put pressure on the enemy team, that put pressure on UT Dallas to go for the Baron, because you can't answer him in the side lane, and he's just going to go ahead and take the base, and they got to have their cake and eat it too because Stumpy was doing so well.
And no blockers, no excuses for this guy playing with one full hand, and has named himself Stumpy, as you can see, has the finger on the other hand, the appendage to continuously play and absolutely obliterate on that Yasuo. Another guy in this game, Julian, who was playing huge on the Orianna, pressured a lot in the early game by the side of UT Dallas, but was able to find the open areas and continuously hit those 3-man shockwaves. There were multiple.
Yeah, really, really, really good shockwaves from him all game long. The first one to help them pick up the kill onto the Olaf and shut down the jungle, and then just had priority and was putting a lot of pressure onto XCase, who we basically didn't get to talk about for the entire game on the Rise, because he was just pushed in by Julian and was a pretty much a non-factor in that game, whereas Julian was the one landing the big team fight ultimates, catching the rest of the UT Dallas squad with their pants down.
Everything seemed to be a few seconds just behind of what UT Dallas wanted to do. We saw the realm warps going out, but then nobody would kind of take it because it wasn't going to be in position. That's due to Columbia kind of organizing quickly around that. But they did, again, go after Julian to start things off. Found a lot of aggression on him. So we'll see if they can start to at least take down one lane, or at least temper the fact that every lane had a CS lead coming out of that game for Columbia.
Yeah, that's one where Evan RL and Dean, they pretty much got to take care of business on the bottom side. Keen was really suffering in that game, though. Every time he went for a flash play and he didn't get the maximum from it, then he was immediately punished the next play. They kept going after the Taric over and over and over again. And I have to say, Keen was kind of the avenue that Columbia College went through to get their foothold in the game.
We'll see what they can do this time, almost into picks and bans for game number 2 of the series. And series number 2 of the day. It will be on the left side, Columbia College once again, UT Dallas on red.
Yeah, Columbia, they get to pick sides on this one, and they were already blue side in game 1 because UT Dallas was higher seed and picked there. So I expect pretty similar bans to come through. The Kaisa, the Morgana, the Trundle from Columbia, but then it was the Graves Aurelia. And, oh no, I messed up. I wrote Graves twice. I don't even remember what that left.
Oh my
When I look down at my notes and and it's wrong, I'm like, no. But Graves and Aurelia were 2 of the bans.
They double banned Graves. We'll go with that.
Man, I don't know why that happens. That's kind of just the, oh, I know why it happens. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Sitting there going, it's because the bans on the right side are reversed. So when I'm writing,
You try to write it how it would read.
I write left to right, and they go right to left. So
Got it.
I did.
Solved. Look at that.
First ban and the third one. Yeah.
Interesting. Camille. The final ban here for Columbia College, Morgana and Kaisa. So a bit of playmaking there taken out of the hands of UT Dallas. That's what you want to get in the first few. Or you want to target somebody like Dean on that Rakan, Aurelia, for possibly Julian.
Oh.
And the Yasuo actually gets the hit. Taken out.
Yeah, it was the Rakan and the Graves that were banned. So they banned the Rakan again. The Graves is traded out because you also have Trundle still up now. So Graves and Trundle both up here. And they just still go for, they still decide to pick up the Varus. Seems like Evan RL really prioritizes that champion. Even though things like Caitlyn are up, Ezreal just really wants that for the bottom lane.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure from this champion. He did take teleport last time and it worked. But okay.
It gets left up, and that might change the jungler here for Bucksack now as well.
So I actually feel like Bucksack will play Graves here. Almost undoubtedly in my mind.
Right.
Because everything else kind of sucks against Trundle. Graves is really good against it. And like I said, back on RMU, Bucksack was the AD carry, Evan RL was the support. And Evan RL got to go back to AD carry here. And Bucksack, an AD carry player playing Graves jungle, he should feel right at home on this champion. And it's also really good in the matchup. But the Skarner would be really good for the team, but if he wants to go for it, I'm not going to doubt him on it. The Graves is up. It's a good champion into the Trundle in the matchup, but he may just want to match it and try to go for some picks. Might be a pick composition, so it looks like him starting to form out.
Absolutely. Maybe not liking seeing that Braum. You can sting somebody through the shield anyways. Pull him right back.
Yeah, interesting, because Graves constantly banned today, seen as that top-tier jungler alongside the Trundle, and now you just give more resistances, more kind of counterplay for the Trundle to actually exploit. I was expecting a less tanky composition on the side of Columbia to, kind of not give the Trundle what he wants.
Found Tom on the bench a few times, but now he actually gets a little play in the game here. It's going to be Stumpy's support for Dean this time around. No Ornn coming through here. We've seen that a lot in the first picks. This might be the first game we don't see him. 11 seconds left for UT Dallas here as we're into phase 2 of the bans.
Potentially a Singed ban, Cassiopeia ban was what UT Dallas went with last time. The Rise, okay, interesting that they would ban that away. You see different coach on stage this time. This is Nicholas. Last time it was Too Serious, so they've swapped out the coaches on UT Dallas. So I would assume it's a slightly different pick ban philosophy between them.
That Ezreal does get picked up. He has actually seen himself on the ban list quite a few times today with his potent Pokeballs. Ornn, there is actually the Ornn ban. So he stays 100%, but now he's got a ban in there. Orianna taken away from Julian. I feel like that's a very good ban to put against him. Orianna, just as you flow from game to game playing her, it feels so good, and you can just dance around your opponents, especially Vladimir. So they take that away as well, so the extended fight doesn't go in the favor of UT Dallas. What do we have here for phase 2 of picks?
And remember, this is a matchup in the mid lane where both these guys really respect each other. Julian was the top of Challenger, #1 for a while. In the next case, it was somebody who kind of got a tip of the hat from Julian saying he is quite good. I do have to respect him. So I don't know if UT Dallas will actually wait for the final pick to be their mid laner. Yep, there they go.
Mundo.
So one thing about Mundo is this is the patch on 8.9 where his ultimate got incredibly buffed. I was actually looking through the patch notes again because I'd kind of forgotten what had happened before the Scuttle patch.
A bit ago.
And I was like, wait a second. Yeah, this is the patch where Dr. Mundo's ultimate went from giving him 40, 50, 60% maximum health to giving him 50, 75, 100% maximum health. So you have to have grievous wounds when you fight Mundo, or else he's just absurdly powerful. Yeah. It's weird, because 100% is maximum health, and you're building HP there too. So we'll see what happens, but it could
HP versus HP.
Okay. Interesting. And it could be a Mundo jungle, but I assume it's Trundle going into the jungle.
Or he'd be against the Fiora.
Yeah, Trundle versus Fiora. Rough matchup for everybody except for probably Aurelia, I guess. There's the Azir.
Unless they swap that. Fiora or Scion goes to a different spot, but I feel like, yeah, it's going to be for Julian on the Scion.
Yeah.
Azir. X case gets locked in there, so they have a good amount of objective fighting or just overall kind of staying in a group. Looking at the Columbia composition, you could stay pretty grouped up. You're going to have a few people diving you, but a great comp for Azir to push away if they do try to get deep on the line.
Yeah, a lot of split pushing here for Columbia University, and UT Dallas, they're actually swapping a little bit back and forth, trying to play the games. 20 seconds.
8 seconds left.
20 seconds when you do have to lock it in. But the Azir versus the Scion, this really sucks for Azir because once the Banner of Command is actually purchased, you do no damage to the cannon minion or whatever's bannered up when you have a soldier out. You actually have to walk, you have to wait for your soldier to despawn, and then you auto-attack it. So having soldiers out is actually counterintuitive because you do 0 damage when you hit it with soldiers, but you actually do like 50 every time you like poke it.
Feels bad, man. The coaches will head off as they leave their players with the last words of encouragement, and now it is up to them. Hashtag CC win for Columbia College, hashtag UTD win for UT Dallas. And we'll see who can actually get this matchup. Everybody getting prepared, making sure it feels comfortable. It's always one thing I have given credit to professional players is you're not playing at home. This is a different setup that always changes a little bit. And it's hard to get to that top level of play, but these guys are making it happen, and they're finding a way to do that.
Big difference between playing at home on your comfortable setup and playing on the stage. Not just the lights and all of that, but the crowd in front of people on stream.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's a little unusual. Maybe the monitor is a little different. Every excuse comes through. It's true. It can throw you off.
The lights are in my eyes.
But you got to learn to handle it.
That's because you won, son.
It's like, where are you going with this? But yep, triple teleport for Columbia College. And then there's only 2 on the side of UTD, but it is double teleport in the bottom lane. I assume that's why the Ezreal was picked up as an answer to the Varus, because he's also somebody who could take teleport and not just worry about the bottom lane being this lane where TP is lopsided.
Will win, looking to...
in order to get there, he needs to buy items. He will buy items.
There's got to be a return on investment here. He is corporate mundo. He knows what he's doing. There has to be some type of, logical and statistics that he's working here.
He's going to have to ask Julian, the business major, for some advice on that one.
If he goes back and buys something crazy.
I mean, if Fiora does percent HP true damage, buying HP means nothing. So Q doesn't scale off anything either. It's their HP. In fact, he's actually hurting himself less per Q.
That's true. Look at that. And then he'll get minions, and he can refund it all if he can kill him.
Yeah, his Q, it throws it out. It's doing 50 health. Oh, flat right there. Okay.
I'd love to know what Stumpy's thinking right now. He's like, he doesn't have items.
Yeah.
Is he trying? He's actually hitting a lot of those cleavers.
He
That's
is.
quite annoying. Old Fiora wouldn't care. She'd be like, I'm just going to heal. Let me attack some things. I'm healed. Good. Perfect. That's going to be annoying, though. Doran start to nothing for the top lane. A quick back and forth as a triple soldier tap. X case causes a chug of potions here, but it should just be a Slayer's Roar from Julian over and over. I was going to say it could be annoying for X case, but he's doing quite fine.
And did he notice? He noticed. And that's the type of thing where we were talking about, be the best player at home. Best player at home. Well, it really does suck. So it's like everybody's done it.
No, nothing extra.
And especially when you get in that situation, you just go, what can I do about it? Like, obviously the nerves might be getting to him a little bit, but that stuff happens. Right? It just kind of shows like you aren't completely in it or something. In the last game is affecting you, but yeah, a little bit of tilt there for sure.
So something to keep track of. May play for nothing, but that teleport is up for Stumpy. A very early play could come into effect for him. Usually in the first 5 minutes, everything's quite quiet. Oh my word, one last attack. Woo! Actually holds the flash too. He says, I got this. Not even close, baby.
Yeah, how is he going to do any extra damage? He's got heal. Hey, you just TP back in, you'll be fine. But Faith going to the top side.
Could be a hit here for Stumpy. He could dash to Faith, but he actually just tries to flash over the pillar. Gets himself to safety. Another rinse and repeat possibly here due to that flash being down. And that helps Will win a bit. may be able to force Stumpy's teleport out a little bit sooner.
Yeah, I assume the Q cooldown was down from Stumpy.
Right, he had a flash.
The thing about like the Fiora Q cooldown is everybody just thinks it's like an incredibly low cooldown, right?
How is she always on me?
She's using it over and over again. It's because it refunds a large portion of its cooldown when you hit. At rank 1, it's a 16-second cooldown. So it's supposed to encourage you to go forward, but it refunds 60% of its cooldown if you hit a champion or an enemy with it. So you're supposed to use it aggressively. So when he's using it to get away, now there's this big opportunity, 16-second window, where he didn't hit anything, so go ahead and use the pillar, and then it's forced to blow the flash there. So it's good to watch that when you're ganking if they use it in that way.
Gold. Picked up by Julian. Ooh. Burning Agony goes on. Can't really step to it. There are a lot of caster minions for Will Win is helping him with that wave, but a good trade back and forth. So for his start, gotta say not too bad, but the teleport still waiting to come back.
I'm actually just interested to see what happens later on in this game where it's like they both are level 16, they both ultimate, and then it's like Fiora's trying to kill you and do percent HP damage, and you're just actually getting 100% of your HP back again.
Every vital is just like bloop.
Yeah, and then you're just
back.
you just keep getting your HP back. So you're both standing there just healing a whole bunch. I'm actually really interested to see what happens with that later in the game if it's at an even state. Right now.
Right, Faith.
Ooh.
Don't give him an escape, though. If he's too close to the turret, he can dodge onto you. Pillar goes up. Does he hit Faith? He flashes out of turret range. Faith! No, overshot! Oh, he actually gets the kill over to Willwin, so the 2-for-1 there, but a great pickup from Stumpy. Action in the mid lane here as Julian goes back in. About 350 HP on X-Case. He's got to be very careful, but move the soldiers forward with low bit of mana, and it is just bad news bears for Keen. Gets himself to go down after the roam.
And again, Keen got picked up there. Dean gave him the devour and spat him out. And so once again, Keen not finding really good roams here. Was trying to help out Case, but right here in the top side, Stumpy versus Will Win. Riposte doesn't land, doesn't get the vital until later, and then Faith takes one turret shot. Flashes, doesn't have any mana for anything else. Takes 2 shots, and then Will Win. Oh, would have gotten the kill anyway. First blood does still go over.
And here's the mid lane.
Yeah, Keen had already leaked. And he had the flash there, but got 3 stacked already by the Tahm Kench. Who, by the way, is running the Summoner Spellbook, the one that we talked about where it's changed now.
Working out so far. Doesn't mean to do much with it just yet. There's now Evan RL. A little mismatch back, but Dean is back, so not a problem there. He was able to hold lane steady in CS, which is very nice. Oh boy!
Surprise!
Good flash over the wall, but good pressure as well. UT Dallas keeping something on the plate, trying to activate on a little bit of aggression, and they force a flash.
But it's good to get that flash out. The Tahm Kench not mobile at all, and Keen didn't use his flash previously and still die or anything like that, so it won't be kind of a repeat of what happened in the last game. But now on the top side, we see Stumpy is a bit behind in CS. Will Win will have the TP up sooner, and he has the Bramble Vest, so you won't heal as much as the Fiora. That's kind of like the item that you need as a tank up against Fiora as soon as possible. You need the Bramble Vest to cut her healing, because it just makes her trade so oppressive.
So how fast does Columbia get Grievous Wounds then in the fight? We'll have to look at that in a second. Faith coming up. It's going to be a pillar for a Dean. He should have gray health and an easy save here if Evan RL gets into trouble. They play that nice methodical. And here's a bit of the heal. Remember, what is that? 60% each time here. 24, 29, just ticking up, and Stumpy cannot connect enough damage to take him down. Stumpy's ultimate, the Grand Challenge, was used in that fight.
Yep, and Will Win gets away. And now they're back at about the same HP here, so.
Rinse and repeat.
Yep, and go back. Everybody, go back to what you were doing. Back to farming the lane. But like you were saying.
Ooh, sneaking? No, he was seen. Oh, no, he wasn't seen.
No, not spotted. Control ward disabling. Gonna go to the bottom side. Remember, Bucksack is level 6 and he has flash. So he can Skarner flash on whoever walks forward. And there it is.
Whoa, that doesn't feel too good. John's gonna go down. Arcane shifts himself to safety, but can't do much after that, as Keen is forced to watch. Julian now trying to rotate down, thinking this fight might go a little bit longer, and he does find protection from the rest of Columbia College as they rotate up for save.
Yeah, it was a good pillar, because Julian flashed, and then it looked like he was going to immediately ultimate. And so the pillar would have stopped that. So it was a really good Trundle pillar from Faith to try and prevent that from happening. But the fact that they had just lost John on the bottom side meant that they had to kind of cede the bottom lane and the pressure. So Julian did get the reinforcements in time.
Talking about those flashes being down, Faith is doing a good job at getting those summoners out. It's just UT Dallas has to capitalize here. Columbia able to do what they need. Here's one of those pillars again as we see it.
Yeah. So he
Always
flashes
just
and
short
then-
on the kill.
Yeah, flashes and then it looked like may have been something there. But yeah, John picked up pretty easily. Remember, there's no healed TP for him. So didn't have really any way to get away from that unless he just flashes immediately. Having that reaction time from a Skarner that's flashing and ulting you, that would have been actually crazy.
Oops. I felt like that was gonna happen.
That's one of that's where it's the mid laner's fault and not yours.
Yeah. I mean, he's leveling E, so he's not gonna do that much with Q at this point. So we're a little whoopsie. It's all right, you know. Technically needed a Scion, but it definitely helps. You can just push X-Case in all day. So he gets a little bit of room to play with now. Won't be strangled down too hard in mid lane, and his summoners are coming back up for both of those. With heal just a few seconds away. 78 to 65 there. We said UT Dallas has to do much better across the early portion of the laning phase, and they are keeping it a bit closer, but also more map control than was going to college, or Columbia College this early last game.
It's much closer than last time, but ooh, Julian just does so much damage. The Comet, the Roar of the Slayer, ooh, it's actually just poking out Case so much.
Drake time.
And Case still has a really good CS. We'll see what happens here. Faith, this is one where I'm like, he's trying to contest that.
I just want to see Scryer's bloom across to just realize how many members are down there, and they bring 4 strong. Looks like he'll get pressured a little bit by Bucksack, but not too much. They're just looking for vision. 80 to 81 in that top lane. As you were saying before, I'm now getting as interested to see what will win. Will it be able to provide here?
How far back did he go?
Oh man. Flashes down.
Test.
Throws down the Chrysalis. Oh. He would have gotten slightly blocked by minions and Emperor's Divide. He was waiting there.
Yeah, he doesn't throw the Fracture out, but even then it was almost just like he was expecting X-Case to cancel it, and I'm glad he didn't, because that means he's not delayed at all. Clear the minion wave.
True shot, hitting a few members, leaves the minions up on that left side. Careful Keen has been a quick target for getting taken down right away in a few of these games.
Mundo's
so he
here.
stays safe.
Yeah, he's just walking through, got his boots completed, so can take a little bit of a detour. He's doing well in the CS department. Neither of those top laners TP'd back, but Will Win still a little bit down in experience. Almost going to be that level 9. But oh, Bucksack actually going to start up the Rift Herald very early on in this game. It's 11 minutes in. It's actually funny because I've talked to some people who were like, man, it's even just in scrims, they're like, we are actually winning too fast, and we're taking Rift Herald too early. Rift Herald expires, right? So taking it not at 11 minutes, but at like 15 minutes gives you a bigger window. And hold on, though, Stumpy's going to try to turn this around.
He's like, remember last game? Comes up now on the Fiora to do the same thing as he is engaged on. He turns that fight around on UT Dallas as they were trying to pressure, knowing it was a little quiet and Rift Herald may be afoot.
Well, Julian TP'd back, and King is here.
Whoa, little shuffle out, good shield damage. Roar the Slayer, possibly if he can get into position to do so. And Glacial Fisher is just going to walk him out of the fight so he can keep himself safe. Keen doing a great job at roaming to keep protection around the map as well. Even if he went down the one time. Still map control in the favor of Columbia College here. They've been able to sweep out a few lanes, make sure summoners are down, or at least enough to pressure things like this. Rift Herald going down now in favor of Bucksack.
Yeah, maybe able to pick up that first turret too. Mid lane turret is actually in about the range.
Oh yeah.
I think it's Abyssal Mask potentially first for Julian instead of going for, yeah, he's gonna use it immediately actually. Yeah, wants that first turret, ASAP. And also with X-Case being pretty low, this actually is a fantastic time to use it. Wait, he's gonna take damage from it.
Oh no!
Wait, they gotta kill it! They gotta kill it!
Billy, no! Ooh.
Bit the bottom.
Oopsie whoopsies. See if Julian can get in for one last attack. X-Case could definitely Shurima shuffle him back to make this a good fight in the end. But no, not deal. He just hits it once.
It's like,
it's gonna be crazy.
Like, don't do it. And on the bottom side, though, Evan RL, slowly but surely. This is kind of like what's been going on the opposite side of the map. It's just,
oh my word, what an influx of gold.
Why not one? Why not two? How about all 3 outer turrets for Columbia College within a minute of each other?
Within 30 seconds of each other. I can do that in 3 turrets.
Yeah. That was so fast, though, because that's a huge influx of gold. They're going to want to back, and then they're going to want to go for lane assignments and deeper wards. And you can see everybody's recalling at exactly the same time here.
Core items popping up, too.
Yep. You're seeing the Banner of Command pop in the inventory, the Rage Blade. Pretty much first completions here. I think it might also be, will it be a Black Cleaver here on the top side immediately?
Stinging.
Oh, it'll be a Trinity Force.
Piecing things together.
Nice.
Might not need too much more gold for that, considering what's been happening as well. So it's going to be a quick minion wave. He has the teleport to make it happen after he backs to get that and start a big fight here.
Yeah,
for Columbia College.
And so now it's the 1-3-1 because you have 2 TPs. Julian's is down, but he gets to shove a side lane with Banner of Command that nobody else has, so you can't answer a banner with a banner here. And so you have the Scion pushing the side lane, you have Stumpy getting CS on the top side, and then you have Evan RL and Dean kind of holding mid up against a wave clear mid laner. And that's kind of the thing you always have to worry about when you're up against, or you're the team with a Scion, is that your team has no wave clear. Right? You don't have like Orianna, you don't have very easy access to AP wave clear, Talia and whatnot, no control mage. So you have to worry and find creative ways about pushing the map forward without that. And that usually relies on split pushing. So we're seeing the 1-3-1 come out here, or gets the 1-2-1, and then Bucksack is just kind of going around in the jungle. But they're gonna have to slowly de-ward these areas, and there you go, there's kind of the pivot to the side.
The double attack, I like this. It's like the slow wombo combo. Almost get that one to work. Kind of danced out there by Will Win as he gets himself to safety with a flash, but now all that pressure to the bot side with the Baroned up minion, Zyrene, and they are looking for blood.
Yeah, the Tom Kench ultimate, that's a creative way to start opening up the map and pivot to one of the side lanes. Right there, Will Win had used the ultimate previously.
Good focus from Evan RL, just shots to the turret as Keen blocks a few of those out, and they finally get into position, are able to relieve that bottom side pressure. Faith and XCase doing what they can in the mid. These 2- and 3-man teams of UT Dallas working well, but still being pushed ever so slowly.
Yeah, and even though it's not like a crushing victory where it's like they're constantly winning team fights back to back, or like the game looks like it's in an unwinnable state for UT Dallas, it will feel that way because Columbia College are winning all 3 lanes when you're like looking at the opponent across the rift, right? It's like mid lane, oh, you're down in CS, up, top lane is now up substantially in CS for Stumpy. And remember that last game was 21.5 minutes. That was a blitz of a game there where they were able to take out
just
UT
6
Dallas.
minutes from now.
So fast.
6 minutes from now, that game was inside the base of UT Dallas.
It was the acceleration.
College. Yep.
The acceleration in which they played the game. So once they had that outer ring of turrets, it looks like Columbia College really had to push the pace of the game. The Mountain Drake is about to come up, and this will be another point where they can go for a fight or go for a split push.
Well, with the series not being over, UT Dallas definitely still having a chance to come back, but Columbia College looking very good, and other teams definitely might need to make note of that early game play. They are so good at what champions can really tackle that pressure for them.
And it looks like it might be a bottom lane focus after this. That turret is almost down on the tier 2. It'll be a 4-man strong mid push, and then you'll have the Fiora on the side lane here with the Trinity Force just completed for Stumpy.
A lot of pink wards as well for Columbia College, meaning they want to move those forward, be able to protect them, even just fight over a single ward since they know they're stronger. Faith waiting in the wings, one of those pillars that could get a flash, that could mean something else for XCase and Johns to finish a kill here. And we still haven't seen Will Win kind of an extended fight. We haven't seen that Mundo really be a boss in these fights. So we'll have to see a 5v5. I mean, even if Columbia College allows it, they've been fighting quick and taking out a few members to move on.
Yeah, the Mundo is going to need a lot of levels. Like I'm talking like level 16 when he has that upgraded ultimate.
Right.
2 levels down right now.
It's going to take time.
Right. He's going to need some items too on top of it, and he's behind in that curve. So Stumpy is in a fantastic spot again, doing incredibly well. Evan RL has also been a very big silent performer here. He hasn't had to do anything fancy, but he's been consistent in these last 2 games in terms of getting that turret and applying pressure. And Stumpy, he's going to take the turret, and he's going to give Will Win a little bit of smack on the way out.
Also, Stumpy, the first guy, 2 games in a row. Yasuo, Fiora, we've been seeing as we are on 8-9. A lot of the tanks still in the top lane. But he says, give me aggression. Give me that kill still. I want to fight in my top lane. And he's taking those champions up there.
Love it.
Hasn't even really needed that much help. We haven't seen too much Bucksack towards the top lane. But Stumpy now towards the top lane is the rest of the team. 3's a crowd here for XCase. Bucksack's going to join as well as UT Dallas tries to sort themselves out. A nice job defending this top side turret as mid is going to be pushed out by Johns here as well. They seem to be organizing a bit more, but it's Stumpy continuing to work that pressure, and that's what Columbia is happy with letting happen right now.
Yeah, good side lane split pusher here. When I'm looking at the champions that he typically likes to play, his most played is Gnar and then GP, and then he also has things like the Camille and the Yasuo and all that. But it's mostly a lot of split pushing champions when I look at it. The GP likes to be left alone and have stuff happen on the other side of the map. And then even the Gnar is most played this split. Because it goes from Gnar 7 games, GP 6 games, to Camille at 2 in terms of the regular season for him. So there's a big drop off, and he really likes having control of the side lane, having the winning matchup in the split push. And it seems to be where he thrives the most because he's been able to actually get a lot of space for his team and kind of clean up some of the jobs that they start, like that turret, right? Able to win these one-on-ones, still 2 levels up, massive CS advantage for him, approaching that 50 mark.
Miramana finished up for Johns, a little bit of a power spike for him. Nasher's Tooth is there with a few other items around the map. Will win if he can get in with the Sunfire Cape to start getting some burning agony damage down as well. It's got to be quick though. Bucksack is coming in and hitting these stingers, able to take out a target immediately. There's almost not enough time for this damage to come through here from UT Dallas.
Yeah, and the fact that Stumpy, he's 2 levels up, but he's also 2,000 gold up already, and he's the most gold in the game.
For Fiora, that's like 10,000 damage.
Yeah.
Or 10,000 gold, sorry.
But
it just means everything.
It's funny because like he's not even like flipped to the top side of the map. They're keeping him on the bottom side so that they can make plays and push both mid and top here with Columbia College split push, and then go for the Baron afterwards. So they're keeping their teleport, or one of their teleports, as far away as possible because he's winning that one-on-one. This Case might be dead.
Oh, Abyssal Voyage into Case, throws the soldiers forward, can shuffle, but he gets the Emperor's Divide back. Bit of damage here as the long fight going in favor of UT Dallas.
Stumpy is flanking. He's walked all the way from the top, for the bottom side.
Oh, Johns was about to see him. He sees that Vital come up, and they can't do much about it. A great retaliation from UT Dallas, but they're still losing a bit of ground as Columbia's not overextending it all. They know they're taking a bit, but also saying, we need to respect that fight. We'll take this and come back.
And they got that top tier 2 turret off of that, so they went aggressive. And then they didn't really blow any summoner spells on either side, but they still walked away with the prize with the turret. And a lot of teams will be really kind of apprehensive about going for that type of dive or overcommitting to it. And it just looked like they went for one that was a little bit slow. They got the Skarner Sting on the side. Granted, no kills went through, but they still did get the objective, which I think is fantastic and showing that they are not afraid to push the pace of the game, which is why the last one ended in 21 minutes. 21 and a half minutes, and this one is about to approach that, but this lead, 5,000, and they're still working with it across the map, trying to spread UTD very thin.
Who was it, Stumpy, who said that? I love when games hit that precipice, and we can make the plays while it's getting to that point for them. They make it happen so early. You put the other team and balance them on a knife's edge right away. Does not look like it is very safe for UT Dallas at this point, with Stumpy continuously pushing in just outside the turret. Willwin tries to block that off. A quick game of Blast Cone here between Faith and Julian as their jungle is just being lost to vision at this point. Baron is up, but at this point we said it is the previous patch, a very healthy Baron and a possibility for UT to come back if it is not in full possession of Columbia.
Yeah, and Columbia, you see they're taking their sweet time with actually starting up the Baron and kind of flirting with the idea of it. Stumpy, I think he might back for the Ravenous Hydra now because he has the gold for it. And the difference is he's going to heal way more when he has that item. And he can actually go for more turret dives. And so instead of just keeping the pressure on with the items he has, he's going to back, kind of reset, and then go back to where he was so that he can actually just go for those dives instead of kind of just sitting around and accomplishing nothing. He might actually go for Infernal by himself too, so his team doesn't have to move.
How's that TP? Why not? They have 2 behind the pit, 1 in the pit for a good entry. Also 1 at red, which would be a huge entry. Doesn't have home guards coming out of base. As he is on the map. Why not Raptors?
Yeah,
a little bit more.
Well, that's the thing is top laners that are split pushing.
Love Raptors?
They love taking camps. Julian did flash there. Didn't see if that was for if he saw a ghost or something. But
is it a ghost?
I think it was a ward. Anyway,
Mountain and 2 Infernals. Even more powerful now on the side of Columbia. Faith doing what he can to walk in. That's all it takes. Trying to ward, trying to get vision. They heard Dragon go down. That possibly means there aren't as many members on the top side of the map, but it was, as you said, only Stumpy.
Exactly. Stumpy was the one who was soloing it, has the Ravenous Hydra, and now you're seeing Will win. He's being pulled to this. This will be a 4-on-4 in the pit. Then Stumpy will have the option to TP in or take the turret.
And it looks like he's pinging into the base, so that means Columbia's gonna say, hey, let's yo-yo this aggression in and out. Make them want the fight, peel back so they can't take the fight. And that's exactly what they're doing. Julian being the forefront of this. In and out, that's all they needed. The pressure has been gained, and now he's gonna get the inhibitor turret. Keen wants to keep vision to make sure they just can't back or get the quick TP in to help their teammate, but it's not gonna matter. Stumpy's on that inhibitor, and he's going to take it down regardless. And he's out.
Wow, and there was a minion there too to get the lower cooldown. You can see Will win.
Speed.
Already used the ultimate to try and get the speed. He gets out. Stumpy.
Absolutely crazy play, and just being the perfect nuisance in the side lane. Sometimes you'll see a team be okay with that advantage they have. That split pusher starts coming to fights because he wants to kill, and you lose that vision of what you need to do. They're keeping the split push, and I'm sure Dallas is tearing their hair out right now trying to deal with him.
And this is actually, in my experience, one of the hardest things to play against.
It is.
He just took 2 camps in the bottom side jungle as well. He took the blue buff, he took the Gromp. That puts the jungler behind so that Faith is going to have less gold available to him. It's going to put you further ahead, and you're actually just taking resources from your opponent. And I love that. He's almost
doubling up.
He's almost at that 100 CS per minute, or sorry, 100 CS above his lane opponent mark. He's already above that 10 per minute mark and the highest in the game currently.
I should say doubling up. He's doubling down on everything. Taking extras and coming back for thirds, if you will. 4-1 in a much lower kill game. More worked around the map here for Columbia College.
TP from Julian to get back to that Baron, and that's going to be the TP from Will win.
Yep.
Going in.
They'll take a bit of mid control. Won't give him too much pressure.
It's so hard to engage though, because like normally your top laner has like a Scion ultimate or an Ornn ultimate, and the Mundo doesn't really do anything for you in terms of starting a fight. And it's really kind of just like it's on the Braum or a Pillar or even X-Case to make like a big play, but those are much less reliable than these teamfight ultimates. You can see Julian. Ruh-roh.
Julian not in a good spot. 5 members tagging on that. Actually, X-Case didn't get a hand in that.
Look at Stumpy.
Huge.
Look at Stumpy. Look at Evan RL. He's going to TP there. The double TP is going to come through.
Get into the base. Evan RL's in. We remember this is actually what happened last game. Evan RL teleported into a Stumpy. Absolutely deletes Johns. They thought they had the fight at Baron, but Columbia, they're going to look to be facing off against Illinois in the next movement of the bracket, and Columbia College will take down UT Dallas.
In a 2-0, that was so fast. Less than an hour of game time. Less than 50 minutes of game time between the 2 games.
That's that moment. That's the precipice. We got there.
I don't even
climbed the mountain.
That was like taking an elevator to the top.
Yeah,
that
we
happened
did.
so quickly, and we're like, oh, we're there already. Insanely well done there.
Holy moly.
Especially by Stumpy. That game had 8 kills in it total. That was a fast game in terms of game time, and they exploited all of the advantages they had on the map.
47-40, basically rounding up a little bit on the time it took for those 2 games. Absolutely stellar here from Columbia College, coming in as the 5th seed against the 4th. We said it would be a closer game, but they are showing that they need to be a little bit higher with that pressure and using the composition the way they did.
Yeah, and Columbia, now they face off against Illinois on Saturday.
Yep.
And that means that they are going up against the people that took out Maryville, the team that beat them.
Columbia said we need to take down Maryville to meet UC Irvine in this event. Well, they have a different opponent ahead of them.
I was actually expecting pretty much that. I was expecting,
exactly. A lot of people were.
I'm expecting Irvine to potentially make the finals. I was expecting Columbia versus Maryville. But now it's completely different. It's Maryville out, Illinois in, and now it's that opponent going up against Columbia, who looks very, very strong, because I love what they did. That was a chokehold. That's the catch-22 kind of play, where you control Baron with vision because you're ahead, and then your side laner, your split pusher, is also ahead, and he's slowly but surely taking objectives. So if you go to him, you're going to lose the Baron.
Yeah.
If you try to ward the Baron, you get caught, you're going to lose your base. So that type of situation
And here it is.
beautifully
That's what
done.
you're talking about right here.
Because people are running around level 12, level 14. They're going after Julian. You could have a TP in from Stumpy, but Stumpy is saying, no, we need to just delay. And Evan RL gets out into a safe spot, and then they're just going to try to make sure that they can't actually get
Stop
there
the
and interrupt it. And then Stumpy's in position and goes, all right, John, boom, boom. Gets him with the vital, gets him on the flip side of it, and then takes him out. Johns didn't even have a chance to really react to that. That was the flash. That was the E. He tried to get away, but Stumpy was like, no, you can't do that. And he TPs away at the end.
Incredible. And you can kind of see the comparison to, yeah, Columbia was in the lead, but UT Dallas always having a few things to try and poke their head in there, trying to get themselves into the lead. But what I'd say team play from Columbia College, because we saw Stumpy doing a lot. His 1v1 plays and just solo play altogether was great. But I have to give a lot of credit to his team for holding that pressure and in and out so much that they didn't lose anybody when they were losing flashes so much to those pillars, to coming in and trying to be caught by Faith.
Yeah, Stumpy is like the type of player that I love to have on my team, because he's a player that when you give him a gank, he knows exactly how to take that gank and just win the game with it and become this pressure point where you don't need to keep ganking for him on a side lane, because he knows how to deny farm and he's playing it appropriately. And I really loved seeing that from him, because this is a player that hasn't been on my radar at all in the past, but now he's stepping up as this enormous carry top laner, and he could be a gigantic force that you have to watch out for, because I thought originally it was just Julian, and then you have some of that power from Evan RL, who's going to be consistent.
Yeah.
But now if you have Stumpy in the top lane, this is a team that's looking very powerful.
And they make very few mistakes. We saw a lot of times where they would gain an advantage and not push themselves. The top turrets, as they took a second tier, they'd say, we could dive a little bit more on that 200 health guy, but we're good. His flash is down. We come back stronger. We have item caps again. Let's just rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and like you said, they're not making a lot of mistakes, but they're also being very aggressive with how they push the game out.
It's true.
This is a team that seems like they don't want
fast games.
They don't want to win slowly. They want to win just constantly pushing the game tempo, and they don't want to give you a chance to get back into the game or have something where you outscale them, right? Because the Azir will get to a point where he can definitely dictate team fights. The Ezreal will have double tier online. Sure, you scale, but they were like, no, we're going to end these games right quick as soon as we get an advantage. And that's kind of the difference between them and what we saw from Maryville.
Absolutely. I'm going to have an interview in just a few moments with the player on stage. So to hear more about that victory, let's send it back to Avali and the Columbia College top laner.
Thanks, guys. Stumpy, we heard the casters just talking about you and your victory on such a clean series. What an ending to that game 2, and your Yasuo plays in game 1 were phenomenal. How would you describe your performance today?
I think I played pretty well. I had like a few like bobbles in the laning phase, of course, but I think other than that, though, I think as a team, like myself and then my teammates included, we all played pretty well.
At what point in the series did you know that the victory was yours?
Probably after that triple kill in the first game. It's like, that's a pretty big lead for that one. And then the second one where we're just hitting down their Nexus turrets, got the teleport coming in. That's pretty game deciding right there.
Now, coming into this weekend and into this tournament, a lot of people were looking for the Maryville UC Irvine finals. But now that Maryville is out of the picture, people are looking at you guys as a potential team to win it all. What do you think of your position?
I think if we play as well as we did today and we just focus on our like core concepts that like Coach Drake's been teaching us and having us go over, then I think we'll have like a really good shot at least making it to finals, if not beating UCI.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with that. I understand that you're also playing with a disability. Would you like to tell me a little bit about that experience?
It definitely, it's made it a lot harder to play certain games, right? So what I've had to do is I've just had to adapt to it kind of, and then just in some games, like you have to try harder, right? You have to like press more keys more with one finger, stuff like that. But it's taught me a lot about like just discipline and like being passionate about something. Like even if you have a disability, as long as you want it, you can get it.
Would you mind sharing one of the creative ways that you've learned how to adapt, if any?
Well, for League of Legends, like I just have to use the keyboard with one finger basically. But for other games, like first-person shooters, of course, you have to a lot of the time hold down more than one key at the same time. So one of the ways I just come around doing that is I actually adapt a lot of the keys to my mouse, and then I'm able to play that way.
Ooh, that's smart. Now, you've been in the collegiate scene for a few years now. Outside of this tournament, do you have any specific goals for yourself and for your future?
Definitely finishing my degree. Right now I'm doing CIS, but I think I want to move to game design. And then also maybe going pro, I guess.
Now you have Julian on your team who just experienced scouting grounds last year. Is that a possibility for you?
Currently, it's very likely, I would say, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations again on your victory, and I wish you the best of luck in your next match. Back to the State Farm desk.
Incredibly confident with his play, and obviously super happy after that victory, a huge part in the victory, and also going to be a factor for these other teams to look at going forward. That guy deserves some bans.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've already threw bans at him previously. They banned
Absolutely.
Camille. You got to think about the Gnar. You got to think about the Yasuo, the Fiora. There's a lot there to consider. And he was on blue side both times. So he potentially had to blind pick, later on if people want to actually try to counter. But I'm excited to see what he does moving forward in this tournament.
Interesting stat on him, 9.1 turret damage. 9.1K, I'm sorry, turret damage on the day. The second behind him was 7.2.
That was his average.
Average turret damage.
Over the 2 games, he did 9.1K on average per game to turrets. And the next highest was 7.2K.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Really controlling the lane for himself. So with today's games complete, let's check in with the bracket. Defending champions Maryville have been knocked out, which does see Illinois moving on to the semifinals, joined by Columbia with their victory today. Those teams will face off on Saturday at noon. We return tomorrow for more college championships, starting with UC Irvine taking on the squad from the University of Ottawa. Our second match will feature the University of Western Ontario against Maryland, who return to the tournament for a second year in a row now. So definitely have a little bit to prove for themselves, and a very strong team coming in.
A lot of teams actually have a lot to prove for themselves. We're talking about Irvine as being this gigantic powerhouse. Last year, they had kind of an untimely departure where they were knocked out even before the top 8, and so they didn't make the bracket stage last year, and now they're coming in with this program behind them with a lot of their facilities and saying this is the time that they're going to try and win it all. And right now, they look poised to win that side of the bracket.
It's already been pretty crazy. We're actually Maryville out as well, 5th taking down 4th, and we'll have to see what continues here in Collegiate Weekend. If this weekend's games have you itching for more League of Legends action, the NA Academy League returns next week, June 14th. This summer split premieres on Thursday at 4 p.m. PST with streams provided by the Academy teams, while Riot Games broadcast returns at 3 p.m. on Friday. It's a little different than last split, so for more information, check out lolesports.com for everything. Now, for myself, Zyrene, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for more of the 2018 College Championship. Good night.
Over 300 university teams have spent the past 5 months participating across 6 regional leagues to prove their mettle. This is college esports.
Topopotamus tries to answer back. What a shield from CKG. How are Maryville University members still alive in this fight?
Kaiser. Nice. Let's go! Mid. Just elite Charlie. We got him. Turn. Play around Danny. Play around Danny and then push him in.
And that's going to be a lot of hits going over to Noob. Cosmic Radiance goes down. He almost saves himself. Danny gets in as the Radiance is on. But this is not looking good here.
Go ham in. Everyone go ham in. Everyone follow in. Go. We got this. We win. Run down mid. Mid. Let's go!
Hits, and it's going to be the flash. Double buffs from mid lane. Oh my god, that's huge for CKG.
We got Tress. Nice.
And if you got Dove on, because his W,
hold on. Wait, no! Nice blast! Oh, he lives!
No, look for fight. We have time. Tristan down. Yo, clean him up and then go run down mid, maybe?
Yeah, go top.
This could be the game as they are losing West on the bottom side of the fight. Prototype fighting, doing what he can. Illinois will move on in the Collegiate Championship. Just about 1,000 health between these bottom 3 members of Columbia, and he's gonna go in with the last breath, and he silences Dallas.
Look at Warren.
Nice.
Okay.
Nasher.
Faith almost gets it. It might just be a montage. Stumpy gets one more. Not onto the fountain. That would take him down with the Guardian Laser, and Will Win now doing his best. Oh my God.
Look at Evan RL. He's going to TP there. The double TP is going to come through.
Get into the base. Evan RL's in. We remember this is actually what happened last game. Evan RL teleported into a Stumpy. Absolutely deletes Johns. They thought they had to fight at Baron, but Columbia, they're going to look to be facing off against Illinois in the next movement of the bracket, and Columbia College will take down UT Dallas.